Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna dive into our first mock draft of this draft season. Today I got Matt here, as
How's
always.
it going? How's it going? Welcome back. It's been a while.
It has. We got some updated draft talk here coming your way. As we like to call it, the least informed draft opinions. But hey, we're gonna have some damn fun doing it, aren't we?
Yeah, yes we will. Yes we will.
All right. Well, let's hop right in here with the Titans at number one. What are we thinking here? Oh, do you want evens or odds? Let's start with that.
I will go evens.
Evens? Cool. All right. That makes it easy
Yeah.
for me to start. I
Yeah, you
think.
can do your incorrect pick. Yeah.
Okay. That's how it's working now.
Yeah.
Um, Starting out, I think we're gonna go Cam Ward here, quarterback out of Miami. Not much to say there. You're in the number one overall spot. Why not take the best quarterback off the board if you're in that situation? You know, look at Will Levis's PFF grades. He was the worst quarterback in the league last year. So I just don't think you have any other option there that makes sense. There's a couple that makes some sense, but if you need to build from the bottom up, so
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're at a point where they can take gap years. I don't think they have to rush to find their quarterback, but I do agree that, how often are you expecting to pick it number one overall?
for
Now,
sure.
could you get higher value getting a quarterback elsewhere in the draft? Probably. I think number one for Cam Ward is a bit of a stretch. Uh, he's definitely the best quarterback in this class, but how good is this quarterback class is the question. Is it deserving of number one overall pick, especially when there are talented players like Hunter, Carter, and just everybody at the top half of the draft? Super talented draft other than quarterbacks. So
So
do you want to overshoot?
yeah. So tune in for our video coming up when we go over our big board with all of our
Oh yeah.
player rankings. This is pre-combine. This is the week of the NFL Combine, actually, that we're releasing this for our mock draft Monday. Um, so yeah, who knows how it changes once we get those numbers in. 40 times they're done. We'll see how it ends up. I think personally
Yeah.
that Cam Ward is a first round talent.
Of course. Yeah.
There are some questions with his personality. There's questions with um, just overall comparing him to and especially where he lands. If you put him on a bad team, I don't think that's going to be a great situation for him. He's got a couple targets he can throw to in Tennessee, so we'll see how that works out for him. So on to
Yeah.
number two here with the Browns. What you got for us? What you got cooking?
Yeah, I mean, you made my job really, really easy. It appears that they will be moving on from Miles Garrett, and here you get handed a great replacement, great young talent to develop to fill those shoes. Big shoes to fill, but Abdul Carter has the potential to do it. So yeah, it's an easy pick for me. I'm going Abdul Carter from Penn State.
Excellent draft pick there. Not much you can really say about him. Big comp you got there on him, of course, is Micah Parsons. Not just because he went to Penn State, not just because he wore the same number. They play very similar. Both guys that started out as linebackers, shifted to edge rushers, and have done nothing but thrive ever since.
Yeah.
So on to three here with the New York Giants. I'm of the thought that the Giants are going to go with a veteran quarterback, somebody maybe like I think it's possible they get Matthew Stafford. They could
Yeah,
trade
I've
for
heard about that.
him. I could also see them potentially signing Sam Darnold if the Vikings decide they don't want to re-sign him or he doesn't sign anywhere else. But that being said, I think you just go best player available here. There's no real reason
Yeah.
not to. If you're not going to draft quarterback, Travis Hunter. That's the way to go.
All right. Uh, I've
Well.
yeah, I've stumbled into a great position here. I get to pick for your team, and I'm going to make the pick that I think they will do. I think you're going to be unhappy about it. I think they're going to take Will Campbell. They're going to need to beef up that offensive line. I'm not sure he's the best to do it. I'm not sure it's great picking him at 4, but he does have a lot of upside, especially if he moves to guard. And there's an argument to be had. He's far and beyond the best offensive lineman in this class. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Remember, you reached on Cole Strange, too.
Don't fucking remind me, man. At the very least, this guy is consensus, like, top 10 player in the draft. It's
Yeah.
like, uh, but yeah, I'm not big. Honestly, I would rather draft Kelvin Banks Jr. I think he's much more of a stud than Will Campbell. Will Campbell has got all of the intangibles that you want. He's an extremely smart player. He's great at identifying the blitz and adjusting the O-line to perform how they need to in order to counter it. He just has shorter arms, and he gets beat a lot because of that. Yeah, so on to the Jags here at pick number 5. I think it's tossed up between two guys that you have on the board here. You have Mason Graham and then Will Johnson. You could look at Jahdae Barron, but I just think that the consensus is going to be that Will Johnson is the better corner. He's coming off of an injury, so that's probably why they moved him a little bit lower than moved him lower than Jahdae Barron. And I think Jahdae Barron too is much more of a what's the word for it? I guess a much more of a specific scheme fit. You have to draft him with like an idea of like how you're going to play him, where you can't just like plug him into any random defense and hope that he's going to do good. You got to have a plan for the guy. Will Johnson is that kind of guy that you put him on the field instantly and he knows what he's doing. He knows how he's going to play. And I think you throw him out there with who's their corner? They got a good corner over there. I forget his name. But yeah, I'm gonna look that up now because that's bothering me.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
Ronald Darby, that's the name.
Mm.
Yeah, Ronald Darby. You get Will Johnson in there. Great cornerback duo for a defense which was just a couple pieces away from being a really good defense last year, and in offense too. They needed that also, but Aziz Al-Shazir decided he wanted to take off Trevor Lawrence's head.
Yeah. All right. And there's a couple different ways I can go with this. One of the things I'm heavily considering here is going with Shadur Sanders. He's been linked and mocked here a million times.
There's a lot of talk for it too. He's got a great relationship with Tom Brady, who's a minority owner of the, and he's going to be involved. I mean, Tom Brady was involved in the hiring of Pete Carroll. So,
yeah.
Although the other thing I've heard too is that Pete Carroll's going to want to bring back Russell Wilson. So.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I could see it going either way here, but I think, there's so many other good options too. It's really a tough spot. You can go T-Mac here. If you like him, you can go Luther Burden over T-Mac here, but I think T-Mac's still better. Even taking a guy like Genty makes sense. Taking Jahdae Barron makes sense. There's a lot of different ways to go, but ultimately, the quarterback's going to win you the most games, and if you hit, they're going to win you a lot of games. So I'm going to go with Shadur Sanders. I think it makes the most sense based on where they're at, and it's a significant reach in my opinion. But
yeah. Even the guys here at PFF, Trevor Sikkema, the guy who does the PFF big board here, he has him ranked at 45. So we know where he stands. I think I have him similar position on my big board. I don't think you even have him in your top 50s, do you?
He's at 49 for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with Shadur?
Yes, we are.
All right, Shadur Sanders, second quarterback off the board at pick number 6. On to the Jets. Oh, what a miserable year to be a Jets fan.
Yeah. Painful.
And I don't think that deserves any more elaboration. Basically here, you got a bunch of needs you can fill. I think you move on from Devontae Adams. You can ship him off because you need to get around that cap hit somehow. And so I think Ted McMillan could be his replacement. However, I mean, who's playing quarterback for you? Maybe Tyrod Taylor's your backup right now. I've always been a fan of Tyrod Taylor, but ever since he got his lung fucking punctured by a team doctor, he hasn't been the same.
Yeah. I think it would be really, really fun if they brought back Sam Darnold.
The storylines would be absolutely wild, dude.
Yeah, and then maybe even a Zach Wilson too. Wouldn't mind that.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
As a Patriots fan, I'd love it if they brought him back also. That would make me so happy. What about Mac
Yeah.
Jones? Mac Jones to the Jets. I feel like that would
Okay.
be but anyways, I think that a couple ways you can go. I like Ted McMillan here.
Mhm.
I like Mason Graham here. Mason Graham is probably my highest floor player in this draft, and he's still like probably a top 3, top 4 player for me, just because he's so good and got so much more potential, even than
Yeah.
what he's already shown us. And I think you pair him up with Quentin Williams. That that would be disgusting. And then you have Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald the fourth coming into their own too as pass rushers.
I'd be nasty.
That D line would be insane. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's get them. Who did they get for? Yeah, they got a defensive coordinator for their coach. So I can totally see them beefing up their defensive line then. So I'm gonna go with him.
All right, now you're putting me at a bit of an interesting spot here with the Panthers. Panthers have a lot of needs, especially on defense, and they still have a lot of needs on offense too. Their roster is just Swiss cheese.
Their best wide receiver, arguably, is a 34-year-old Adam Thielen. So
Yeah, so it makes sense, especially with such talented receivers up there like T-Mac and Burden. That makes sense. I could even see Ashton Genty making sense. You just extended Chuba Hubbard, but a lot of the best teams now are running 2 backs. There's a massive movement around the league that everyone's running cover 2, and the best way around that is a run-heavy offense. So a lot of teams are leaning towards that. So Genty could make sense too. Lots of different ways to do it. However, I'm considering a trade here. I don't know exactly.
do we want to do trades on this first one, or should we?
We could keep it no trades if you want.
Let's keep it no trades, and that way the
Okay.
people have to come back for more.
All right, in that case, I will be taking T-Mac here. I think he's the better of the 2 wide receivers. Not by much. I think Burden's a bit underrated.
Definitely.
But T-Mac brings a lot of size. He could be that true X receiver. And he's so tall that maybe Bryce Young will be able to see him over the offensive line. So
I knew there was going to be something in there.
it'll be beneficial too, just looking into the future, having 2 young weapons that can develop with Bryce Young. Xavier Legette, not the best rookie season, but still lots of potential.
Go Cox.
Go Gamecocks. And then him with T-Mac. That's a great pair of wide receivers for a young quarterback, in my opinion.
Definitely. You got a smaller guy who's going to be your, yards after the catch guy.
Smaller.
Hey, man.
He's still like 6'2", 230, but yeah.
smaller than Ted McMillan.
Yeah, that's true.
You get a speedster in there too. Maybe pick up Isaiah Bond in the next round or something. Oh my God, that is an insane wide receiver core.
Yeah, or just let Adam Thielen run wild.
He can't run. All right, Saints here at pick number 9. You've made my job a little bit difficult here.
Yeah.
Initially, my initial pick here always is Will Campbell. And then I also like getting Ted McMillan here. Let's see. I could see them. I think they're going to go edge here. If this is what's available. James Pierce Jr. is a damn good edge rusher. He's got some character concerns here.
Yeah, and I've heard that they're genuinely very severe.
Yeah.
And they could lead to him falling a lot.
I've seen him fall out of the first round because of them. So
yeah, I have too.
So the Saints have never really been an organization filled with upstanding citizens. They live up to their names really well. Help out help out the church a lot.
Oh my God.
Anyways, that being said, And also let's not forget Alvin Kamara, who gets in a fight like every offseason and gets arrested for assault and battery. But
Best kicker on the team, and he's a running back.
dude, right? Kareem Hunt 2.0, am I right?
Oh my god.
All right. Anyways, it's enough stalling here. They're not going to go Burden, even though they need wide receiver. They've got Chris Olave, and size-wise, I just see a similarity there. Chris Olave is a big speedster. So I think they go edge. I think the safer pick is going to be Mike Green. If you really wanted to go a different edge, maybe Michael Williams. Guy who's a real just potential guy. You know, I think I like that. I think I'm going to go Michael Williams here.
Okay.
And plus, the Saints are weird, you know? Like, they love to just do random shit that you just don't expect. Last year, I think we predicted that Talise Fuanga was going to go to them, and it worked. Like, God forbid we got a pick right for them.
Oh, man. See, now that we're getting into this a little bit, it's getting more complicated. Yeah. It's getting a bit more difficult. There's a lot of things I like here, too. I really like Ashton Genty here. It's not something that's mocked very frequently, but I think it makes sense, especially with Ben Johnson moving in.
The thing with that, though, with Ben Johnson moving in, is that the first thing they essentially did when that regime took over the Lions was they built up that O-line. They built the shit out of that O-line till it was pretty solid blocking. So I would, especially, like, you can say what you want. They're not a good run blocking team. They're a decent enough pass blocking team. Caleb Williams just holds onto the ball too damn long. Mm-hmm. But this is your pick, so let me shut my mouth.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit strange, but I genuinely like it. They've invested a lot in wide receiver recently, going out and getting Keenan Allen, as well as drafting Rome Dunes last year. But I think having a really good slot guy like Luther Burden can help a lot and build up that help with the amount of time Caleb Williams is holding onto the ball. You've got a lot of receivers that work really well in contested catches and downfield routes, but you don't have a great slot receiver that's going to work underneath a lot and get a lot of yards after catch. And Luther Burden can do that and really, really help Caleb Williams and open up their offense like crazy.
You don't think DJ Moore fills that role good enough, or you think he's more of a deep threat kind of?
I still think he's more along the lines of a deep threat. I know that's a lot of wide receivers.
Keenan Allen's old though. He's not staying there forever.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long Keenan Allen's going to be there. And then do you know how much of a role Rome Dunes is going to have next year?
Oops.
So I'm going to stick with it. It's funky. It's different. I don't believe it'll happen, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Luther Burden here.
When you started initially talking about that, I thought maybe you were going to go Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I could see that too, because I do love Warren, and he can go out in the slot and dominate in the slot too.
Yeah. All right, so on here to the San Francisco 49ers. There's a couple of picks I like here, but I think you just keep it simple. I think you go with the best tackle on the board. Trent Williams is getting old. He already is old. I think he's like 34. And he's probably going to retire soon. Get a guy in there who, he can groom and basically I wouldn't even say as good as him because he's an absolute fucking unit. You're never going to be able to truly replace that. But you get a good O-line guy there. Protect Brock Purdy for the future. If he really is your starting quarterback of the future and you really want to extend him, then you better make sure you protect him because your whole offense relies on him playing on time and in protection. So I like Kelvin Banks here, so that's what I'm going to do.
I like it. All right. I'm going to keep it simple as well. Fell right into the lap. Ashton Genty. It's been mocked like crazy. They desperately need a running back.
It's where he wants to go.
It's where he wants to go, and I would be surprised if they didn't want him. So I'm gonna go with Ashton Jedi here.
Yeah,
Yeah, not
keeping it
much to say
easy.
about that.
Not even in the slightest. I think that's a top 3 player that you're getting in,
Hmm.
top 2 player that you're getting at pick 12. So insane value. Dolphins here. Lots of ways you can go about this. You need the interior. You're probably going to end up needing safety because Javon Holland probably leaves in free agency. Guard, tackle. You know, I think that's the main thing you want to look out for because you need to fucking protect Tua, man. Uh, dude is nothing but scrambled eggs up there. So you just got to make sure that, at the very least, he can still play on time. He might not know where the hell he is, but he knows where he can put that football. So, I think we go Kenneth Grant here. He's just an absolute monster. Like
Okay.
339 pounds,
Yeah,
6'3".
absolutely massive.
Yeah, so I like that pick here.
All right, making my job easy here because I absolutely love this pick for them. I'm going to go with Tyler Warren. Super versatile to use in an offense that's set up to be versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a quarterback that can move if he's, alive and healthy. Um, Having a versatile tight end like this that can be in line, can be out in the slot, can even be out wide. You could put him in the backfield. They've used him as a running back, as a fullback. Uh, he can really kind of do it all. Very much like a Taysom Hill type, but with a much higher ceiling. Kind of in that same Brock Bowers category where they'll be all over the field and they'll be good there. So I love Tyler Warren. I think it's a great pick. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with him to the Colts.
love having that like short yardage safety net that you can throw to
Yeah.
for a player like Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I think he's more or less gonna be. This is a pretty high praise, but I think he's the next Gronk. I think he's that good. He's just an absolute
Yeah.
physical freak. So
I think he's definitely flying a little bit under the radar, not getting as much hype as he should. Especially, everyone was worried about Bowers last year with, the most hype since Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts has never panned out. Bowers panned out right away.
yep,
He's already an amazing tight end, and I think Tyler Warren's going to be the same way. I think he's going to just burst onto the scene.
definitely. Now to the Falcons here at 15. You took away the guy who I love picking for them the most, Luther Burden. I love pairing
Hmm.
him up with Drake London. Drake London, that's his name. I was about to say Drake May for a second there. Love pairing him up with Drake London. Yeah, that big receiver, small receiver, great duo. But I think this just makes it easy for them, more or less, because you got the two, arguably edge 2 and 3 here, still on the board. So, I mean, you could go Jade Barron, but I think they really, really needed help on that pass rush more than anything else. And you got Jesse Bates in your secondary. At the very least, he's kind of holding it down for you. So,
Yeah,
I think the character concerns are concerning.
that's why they're called that. Yeah.
Yeah, really. And the big thing with Mike Green, he had a great Senior Bowl, but he's from Marshall. James Pierce is proven against the SEC, right? That's Tennessee?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go Mike Green here.
That's what I would go with. Yeah, I like that pick a lot, and Falcons have been in need of edge help for years. So it'd be really nice to see them finally get an edge rusher. That's a kind of good. But here I think that their defense has a ton of holes in it. Their offense has potential. It's got pieces that's filling up. A few years ago, they had easily one of the worst rosters in the NFL. I still think it's not the best, but they do have potential.
Their defense
Uh,
really overachieved this year. They did considering all that they had at disposal for them, very impressed with
yeah,
how they performed.
I agree, but I think you can still tell that they need help on that defense if they
100%.
want to get where they need to be. Um, and I think a big anchor will help a ton with that. They could use more D line help. I'm gonna give them Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. I absolutely love him. I don't love that he's from Ole Miss, but
Now another
super
thing.
talented player.
Now another thing I've heard too is that he has also some character concerns on the docket. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Just keep your eye on in general if you're if this is something that you really want to be doing here.
And character concerns don't affect linemen.
Oh,
That's always been true. Yeah.
you're
I
right.
mean, Laramie Tunsil, Jalen
They're too
Carter.
big to get
Yeah.
away. You're right. Now, who's the guy from Tennessee? Was it Tennessee or Texas last year? Big dude. Um,
Oh, Devondre Sweat.
yeah, he had a couple. I think he was like got arrested like speeding or something like.
Yeah.
Um, but like super goofy dude, super lovable, and had a hell of a year, hell of a first year. So,
Yeah.
wow, it's a little bit ambitious to say that they don't apply for linemen. Hey man,
Yeah.
recency bias. Jalen Carter hasn't really had any flare ups with his Georgia past on the record there. So
Yeah.
Walter Nolan there. All right, Bengals here at 17. I think there's a lot of ways you can go about this. They franchise tag T Higgins, so they don't need to work out a deal for him yet. If they want to, they can just let it sit for the year, or they can trade him now.
Yeah, if they want to, they'll be picking fourth, right? That's what you're proposing. You want to give the fourth pick for T. Higgins, don't you?
I don't really think I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when we can just get T Higgins 1.0. I guess 2.0. 2.0 with
Really?
Ted McMillan.
I didn't think Will Campbell was very much like him.
You know what? All right. So you also need a guard and D line. Mary Smims gets injured in the decent way into the year, so you didn't really get a good sight line on him. I think he's going to be fine going forward for a tackle for you. I don't think you need to worry about it. You need D line help bad. I think they're going to hold on to T Higgins this year. So I don't really think they need any wide receiver help. They got Jermaine Burton last year. Yosavash, whatever his name is, weird ass last name. I just don't think you need that. Guard, there's a couple guys that profile. Gray Zabel profiles as a guard, but I think your O-line is okay. Your offense played great last year. I don't think you really need to worry about changing it too much. It was your defense that needed help. And as far as defense goes, you could use some D interior help. You got Trey Hendrickson on the is he an edge or is he an interior?
Who? Sorry?
Hendrickson.
I think they've kind of used him in different situations, but I think mostly an edge.
Okay. Then I'm going to probably take Derek Harmon here. Great player out of Oregon. I've been huge on him. Great pass rush, defensive interior lineman. So nothing else to say about that.
Okay.
Another pick I could have seen there was Malachi Starks. I think he would have fit great. So.
Yeah. Now, here I am with the Seahawks.
I have a suggestion for you, but you don't need to listen to it, of course. It's your pick.
I'll hear it out.
I like Jalen Walker here.
That's exactly who I was going to suggest.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that's who I was planning on picking. Super versatile guy. Can move around as your defense fills up its holes, and you can, use him wherever. His pass rush kit isn't great yet. He hasn't done too much pass rush, but he definitely has the size, speed, strength, everything you need to play him pretty much anywhere on the defense, other than out wide at corner. But I'm sure he could, depending on the matchup. But
definitely,
he could even. I would say he even has the speed to play safety. I wouldn't, but he probably could in a life or death situation. So I definitely like him. He's super versatile and should be a good fit for the Seahawks.
Awesome, love that, and fills up basically two of their needs more or less with edge and linebacker there. On to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. There's a lot of ways we can go about this. I think hell, I think Malachi Starks might even be a decent fit here. But I'm not going to overthink it too much, I don't think. I think we're just going to go corner, Jade Barron. I think the fall is over. Todd Bowles is going to love this guy. And, no real character concerns you got to worry about either with the other
Hmm.
candidate on the board.
And that's a good pick. Jeez. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here.
You got
This is an interesting spot.
you got safety available. Another thing I've always seen is Colson Loveland.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen that. Uh, I'm gonna go out here, and I'm gonna go with Malachi Starks. I don't think he's the best safety in this class. I am a little bit biased. I love Nick Emanwari,
I do
uh,
too.
but he is still a ridiculously talented safety, and I have no doubt, he'll be at the very least decent in the NFL. Uh,
Definitely.
so we'll see how it all develops with him, but I think he's a good fit for the Broncos. I don't love picking safety this high, even though it's not even really that high. Um, to me, safety is kind of a second round uh, floor, kind of similar to like picking a center on the offensive line. I wouldn't do it first round unless they're outstanding, and Malachi Starks is, so I'll do it.
Alrighty. On to the pick here. Pick 21 for the Steelers. They obviously need a quarterback, but I think they're going to get Sam Darnold. I think he's going to basically be your quarterback of the future there. Well,
Hmm.
near future. Um, your O line really didn't get a chance to show off how good it could be. Troy Fatanu was injured all year. Braxton Jones or Broderick Jones? Broderick Jones is the guy they
Roger.
got. He's been okay so far for them. I think he's serviceable. They don't draft wide receiver in the first round. They're pretty infamous for it, not drafting wide receiver in the first round, even though they desperately need it right now.
Hmm.
Um, so man, this is a tough one actually. I'm thinking here. Wow, that's wild. Darius Alexander here at 31. And he's got some good grades.
I haven't looked at him, but
Uh oh.
I should.
Cancel. Okay, we're good. I was like, oh. Um, okay. Here's a potential scenario here. They could lose Najee Harris in free agency.
I could.
And Amari
I think
Hampton
they
is still
should.
there.
Honestly, I wouldn't say Najee Harris is worth an extension as a running back.
Yeah, he's a physical freak. The dude just doesn't know how to play football. Um,
Yeah, well, you know my stance on this. I think, with the exception of maybe 5 running backs, you should just let the guy walk and just draft a new guy. Uh, they're a dime a dozen. You can get a great running back in round 6, round 7. You know, the
somebody
truly
like
elite ones come round 1. But
Rocket Sanders.
I do like Rocket Sanders, and he's serviceable. I don't think he's outstanding, but I think he'll be serviceable
Yeah,
in the NFL. But I do think this year's running back class is the deepest I think I've
stacked.
ever seen.
It's
Um,
insane.
it's ridiculously insane, and it's top heavy too. There are guys who, there's maybe 3 or 4 guys who in other years would be a first round running back, but just because of demand this year for how much the supply is, they're gonna fall to like third round, you know.
Yeah,
But in other years, like Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, they'd be first rounders easily.
definitely. All right.
But
All right.
yeah,
You know what? Here, I'm not gonna overthink it. I don't really like you did for Chicago. I don't think it'll happen, but I think A, it's the right pick for them, and B, I think it's actually a pretty good fit for them. I'm gonna pick Alec Iomanner here.
okay, I like it. I'm high on him, so
Yeah.
fun. It'll be a fun pick either way. Either he'll crash and burn, and then Steeler fans are sad,
Hey,
or
hey.
he'll be good, and then we get to watch fun football.
Hey, man. You never know even if he crashes and burns, Steelers fans might like that because we've all seen George Pickens crash
Yeah,
outs.
yeah. I got a tough one here with the Chargers. Don't love this spot. Don't love it. Um,
Now Jim Harbaugh is an old-fashioned white coach, so there's no way he's going to draft a black man with character concerns.
Jesus. I
Let's be
mean,
honest here.
that's insane to say, but you might not be wrong.
I'm not saying he's racist.
Okay.
There's no
Okay.
there's no but to that.
Um, let's see here. I could go out and look at a wide receiver or at a tight end, some target, but I have a feeling he's leaning towards defense, and some of these massive guys with tons of potential just scream to him. He loved those physical freaks when he was a coach at Michigan. Um, and Shamar Stewart is an enormous human being. How big do they have him listed as?
Oh
Six
my
six 290.
fucking god, dude.
Off the edge. Off the edge. He's as big as an offensive tackle.
You know,
Maybe a little light, but
I've seen a couple positional rankings for him where they had him actually playing interior.
yeah,
Um,
and he can definitely move inside, but
and
I
it's a
also
need,
think he's insanely serviceable as a power rusher.
and it's also a need for them down there in.
Hmm.
They're not in San Diego anymore. Where the fuck are they? L.A.
LA, yeah.
Yeah, should go back to San Diego.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they need defensive interior too. Doesn't show it here, but they could really use the help. They've got Joey Bosa, who's a serviceable, just kind of meh
Hmm.
edge player right now. But you get another guy in there like that, I think that's a huge. And I think he's gonna help Shamar Stewart. What's the word? Develop. That's the word. He's gonna
Yeah.
help him
No,
develop too.
I think it's a good fit. I think he'll develop well there. And they're kind of in the range where they can take some high upside, high risk guys.
Definitely.
So I like Shamar Stewart here a lot.
All right. On to the Green Bay Packers here at 23. Picked Jordan Morgan last year, and I think it was just an absolute piss poor draft pick.
So bad.
So bad. So you got wide receiver, edge, cornerback. I still don't think James Pierce gets picked here. That's just not the Brian Gutekunst way. I think you need, if you're going to go edge, another high potential guy from the SEC is the way to go. Nick Skirton is a
Yeah, he's so good.
good pick there. Not Donovan Azaraku. He's not from the SEC. No. Maybe
Princely,
I
yeah.
could see Princely here. Another guy with character concerns. He tried to fight a fan after a game. Tried to
That's
climb
Ole
into the
Miss for you,
stands.
yeah.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that had character concerns from there? Walter Nolan. That was it.
Walter Nolan, yeah. And Antoine Wells and,
Laramie Tunsil.
like, Laramie Tunsil and like half of their roster. They're kind of the new Miami in a way. Just paying players a shitload and having character concerns all over the field.
the brand new Urban Meyer.
Yeah, at least Miami won stuff. Same with Florida with Urban Meyer.
Woo! Shots fired.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, I think I like Umamil in here. I think he's a good pick for them.
Yeah.
Not as big character concerns as James Pierce. So, and plus
Yeah.
they really love to reach on a guy that they like. So,
Yep, very much so. And here it's been mocked a bunch, and but I really like it. They've talked about Omarion Hampton. I'm not sure I'm gonna pick that. I am gonna go running back here though. I am going to go with Travion Henderson.
interesting.
I think that he fits their offense a little bit better than Hampton. He has a bit more speed that can spread the field a little bit more. You passed him. He's up above.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right there. I think he's got more avenues to spread the field. He's a bit better out in
Space.
catching the ball. He's just receiving. Super versatile. I think he'll work really well in their system. So would Hampton, but I just want to mix it up too. I think there's 4 first-round worthy running backs this year, and he's one of them in my book.
Awesome. All right, that takes us to pick 25, which is the Houston Texans. So, I don't think Tank Dell plays football again. I'll be honest. I don't know if you ended up seeing that injury to him.
Yeah.
It was fucking awful, dude. I I think at the earliest he plays is going to be midway through next season. That's how bad the damage was to his knee. Um, and overall, your wide receiver room is just fragile as glass right now. Nico Collins can't stay healthy. Stephon Diggs is probably out the door.
Yeah.
And Tank Dell probably won't play for you for at the very least half a season, maybe ever. So I like Emeka Egbuka here. Um,
Yeah.
Pair him up with CJ Stroud, his former teammate. I've always been a huge proponent of plays like that. That's why I've been like begging my
Mm-hmm.
Patriots to go grab Josh Downs from the Colts. So
Yeah.
I love that pick here. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right. Very, very nice. Uh, I'm at an interesting spot with the Rams here. There's rumors they might be moving on from Matthew Stafford. Is their quarterback in-house? No. I do not think Stetson Bennett will be their quarterback. Um, will they draft their quarterback? I think so. But I don't think it will come in the first round.
You just sent me on
Um,
a roller coaster there, dude.
I know. Yeah, I'm just talking through my thoughts here. I don't have anything written down. I'm completely winging it, and I'm scared.
Oh,
Um, I go ahead and pull up the corners. I think their defense is full of veterans because they went out and they spent big to win that Super Bowl. They traded like crazy for all these super talented veterans, and now they're all ancient. Their defense is super old. Um,
now, one thing I will give the GM and the personnel department in LA a lot of credit for is they know when to move on from these guys. They knew when to move on
yes.
from Von Miller. They knew when to move on from Jalen Ramsey. Um, Aaron Donald retired on them. Never gave up on him.
Yeah.
So,
I
or
actually just had a thought too. Could you pull up the wide receivers? Because I just remember they're moving on from Cooper Cup.
yeah.
Uh, and I think that that's actually where they
Oh,
might go.
and there's his replacement right there.
Oh my God. Scroll down just a little bit. Let
No
me
problem.
see. Yeah.
Nick Harbor's
Okay.
not in this draft. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead and go up and pull up tight end.
Inch. Uh.
I I know you're not a super big fan. I know you think he's overrated. I think he's going to show out at the combine. In my opinion, he's tight end too. Give me Harold Fan in here. Uh, I think he can play out wide, and he also can play in line. Fits the same archetype we were talking about earlier. I absolutely love him, and I think whether you're scheming it up for him or not, he's gonna make an impact on your offense and be a really consistent target.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Like an Isaiah Likely, primarily
Hmm.
pass catching tight end. So yeah, excellent player there.
And if anyone can scheme stuff for him and make him work in their system, it's Sean McVay.
Amen. All right, on to the Ravens here at 27. This, in my opinion, is the perfect, just textbook perfect landing spot. Very classy, well behaved, really
Oh
just
God.
solid human being here in James Pierce Jr. I think he fits perfectly in that Ravens, that Baltimore culture.
He would, yeah. That he does scream Baltimore. Uh,
What does that
but
what does that mean?
I don't know. I just don't like Baltimore. Go DC.
Hell yeah.
We got beef. We got beef.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, I don't hate the pick. I think he's super talented at the very least. If you can get him to calm down, then yeah.
Not drive 60, 65 and a 35 with the suspended license and
Yeah, not the best moves. All right. Here, I personally hope this happens. I love this player. I love this team. Uh, very much like the Lions. And I love Dan Campbell. And I think he loves Demetrius Knight Jr. I think he would fit super well into their defense. He has the same attitude as Will Campbell. Very hard-nosed guy. Very high character. I absolutely love him. And it was a blast watching him this year at South Carolina. All over the field. part of every single play. Exactly what you want out of a good linebacker. Campbell's arguably better, arguably more upside, but I think Knight is a better pick for the Lions.
Yeah, definitely like that. With the Washington Commander skins here on the clock at pick 29. You lost Sam Cosmi last year, and I think that really ended up losing you that game. And your piss poor defense that let up 55 points too. But like,
yeah, I'm not sure Sam Cosmi can stop Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. Cosmi's a damn good player, so I nowhere am I near looking replacing him or anything like that. I think you need a cornerback here, a guy that let's not make the same mistake you made 2 years ago.
Oh my god!
Don't overthink it.
It pissed me off so much.
Yeah. Where the fuck is he? Damn, he fell all the way to here. That's not even him. That's him. My eyes just went.
That's crazy.
Siobhan Revel here. The thing is, he had a pretty bad injury. If he gets back to 100% at the combine, shows out, he's a first-round lock, definitely. But
yeah, ridiculous amounts of talent. Unfortunate injury.
Yeah. So do they go with that or the safer pick with Trey Amos? I think they're going to go with Trey Amos here because there's just nothing you cannot ask him to do. You can play anywhere you want on that field, and I think you're going to need all the help you can get. The only thing I'm going to double check here.
I have
I have a better idea.
I have a little devil's advocate if you want to hear.
Let's do it.
Their defense could use help, but from what I've seen, because now that I've committed to being a Commanders fan, I've been following a bunch of stuff. And there's a lot of people who thoroughly believe it'll be a wide receiver or running back. And that includes people like from media and stuff. And I personally think Cam Scatterbo would be insanely good on Washington's offense. Just a suggestion. It's still your pick, but I think that would work really, really well. Great out in the field, on screen passes, even downfield passes. Also a ridiculously good runner. I love Hampton too. I just think Scatterbo fits into that kind of spread scheme a little bit better.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Wide receiver, they got Matthew Golden there. He's much more of a downfield threat, like what's his name, McLaurin. So
Yeah.
I don't think they would go with him. And I mean, Jack Beck's good, but I think you got, I'm not just saying this because he's white. You got Luke McCaffrey in last year's draft, and I think he's going to fill more of the same position that Jack Beck does. So I think that's fine where it is. Your linebackers are good, so you're not going to go with Jihad Campbell because Frankie Louvu is an absolute menace. I don't think tackle either. I think your O-line's actually pretty decent. But you're right about running back. I think I'm going to go with Hampton. He reminds me of a rookie Alfred Morris a bit. So
Okay.
Run that back a little bit. So I'm going to go with him there.
All right. In back-to-back picks for me, I'm going back to my school because I absolutely love them. Love my Gamecocks. And I think this is going to be TJ Sanders. They need help on the interior, and he's ridiculously good, especially as a pass rusher from the inside. Pairing him up with that defensive line, I think, is a match made in heaven. He'll fit super well and help Josh Allen finally get something on his resume other than an MVP. Good job on that.
Yeah, no, I love that. Overall, here with the Chiefs, we saw how badly they got emulsified last year. This Super Bowl, thanks to their O-line being hot ass. So, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna do what the rest of the league will let them do. Get arguably tackle one in this draft with Josh Simmons if he was healthy. The injury will make him fall, but he put up some great tape before he got injured. So I think that's where they'll go here.
Very nice. And here with the last pick in the first round.
I think it's obvious, but
Uh, I'm gonna go ahead. It's just I don't think this will happen, but you never know. They picked so many corners last year. They've picked edge like 15 times in the past 3 drafts. They don't mind picking multiple of the same positions and stacking up their depth chart. Go ahead and give me Nick Scourton. Crazy high potential guy. And if he gets drafted to Philly, with their luck, he's gonna hit like crazy,
yep.
and they're gonna have a painfully good defense. I don't know if that's who you were thinking about, but
I was thinking Jahad Campbell. Another guy that's like, look, he's just so
yeah,
good. We can't afford to pass up on him. We can find another. We can find a use for him somewhere. That's what they did with. I mean, they didn't
yeah,
draft him, but as soon as they got Zach Bond in there, he moved him from edge to linebacker, and the dude had a
hmm
casual Pro Bowl season. So
well, very, very nice.
yeah,
I
this is
think
a
this
fun
is a
one.
great first mock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this.
Me too,
Yeah,
man. This is a solid one overall. A lot of twists and turns you're not really expecting. The the back-to-back Gamecock picks is going to be a little bit suspicious there. Um,
there's a little bit of bias in there, but I don't think it's unreasonable.
yeah, I honestly think right here, I think Jod Campbell would have been more likely.
I
Um,
agree. Yeah,
but I can see why also like Demetrius, depending on how he shows out at the combine, maybe he becomes linebacker one in this draft. You never know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
overall, any other favorite picks you got here on the board?
Let's see. I really like the Jalen Walker fit in Seattle.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, you and I have mocked Tyler Warren to the Colts a million times. I know you like that one as much as I do, but I think Ted McMillan to the Panthers is fun.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think Will Johnson and Mason Graham there at 5 and 7 also insanely good picks. Pretty commonly mocked, at least Will Johnson, but both insanely good picks, I think. And then I also really like Mike Green at 15.
I was about to say that's probably my favorite of the draft is Mike Green to the Eagles there.
Yeah.
I also like James Pierce Jr. to the Ravens. Like I said, think he fits in well there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as picks I hate, not a big fan of Harold Fannin Jr. going 26th. I think Colson Loveland overall
Yeah.
is a better prospect, but like don't get me wrong, I love Harold Fannin. I think he's phenomenally talented. I just think he's much more of a player you need to scheme for, not really one that you can just plug and play in your offense. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of having two hosts on this show is that we got differing opinions, debate them out a little bit, and then by the
Yeah.
time 5 years down the road, we get to rub it in our face who is wrong, like like you can do with me about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and a couple other guys too.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. I remember.
Yeah, a good chunk of guys actually.
Hey, I had a couple. I had a couple heaters.
You had a couple good takes. For context, everybody, next video coming out, or one of the next videos coming out, we will be revisiting our draft rankings from last year's draft and regrading the first round picks. Uh, we're planning that out right now.
Yeah, it's not gonna be pretty. I
Yeah.
had I had some nice Skip Bayless takes there that really did not look good in
Yeah, and
context.
so we're gonna have to finally eat crow for everything we got wrong.
Yep,
We also got a handful right. So happy about that, you know.
definitely. But yeah, that's gonna be all for us today, guys. Thanks so much for checking in with us
Yeah.
here at Draft Mockery. You're once again your one-stop shop for the least informed football takes. But hey, we have some damn fun doing it. My name's David, and that's Matt.
And I'm Matthew. Yeah.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.